Just as much as I have the right to paint some of these things, someone has the right to come up to me and express that they're really, really upset by it. I've had that experience. I've had someone come grumbling up to me and try to get me thrown out of a show because they really, really opposed what I was doing. Prior to art history classes, I think I liked the picture visually. And once I took art history, I realized my most important part of a painting was the story. So my development has all been about trying to get more emotion and more story into the painting, and that's kind of where it's developed. The goal of my paintings is each one has some purpose to it. And for me, the importance of that is to make people discuss things. My point of views are definitely not those of the majority on a lot of topics. Say about religion, definitely not in the majority on my point of view and the way I represent them. But my purpose is not to be, hitting people over the head with my point of view as if it's the right one, not at all. And I finally did get to that point that I feel comfortable expressing how I feel about things. It's kind of like being closeted about your religious views for a long time. I felt certain ways and I never talked about it, never painted about it, because I just thought it wasn't appropriate or safe. I worried what people would think. So now that I do have the voice to paint them and I'm happy with the way I'm able to express my points of view, one of the goals of my art is to open discussion. In fact, one of my solo shows last year was called Up for Discussion. Point was, here they are, you can dislike them, but don't just dislike them and walk away. Like, why don't you walk up to me and go, I'd like to talk about why you painted this, and I'm happy to have the discussion of my point of view and hear someone's reaction to it and find out what they bring to it also. The majority of my work is more about topical, in the news, current events. And sometimes it is current event in the sense of something that currently happened to me. So yeah, they used to be more personal, whereas now I've kind of found my voice and what I want to say on a broader level, which is talking about what's going on in the world, especially living in DC. It seems crazy to live here and be so immersed in it and not have it be part of my reality. Personally, I'm very type A, very always have to be doing something and love always doing something, and I love a little bit of pressure to get it going. So I love assigning myself a project. So most recently it was 31 Days in the News. The project goal that set out was that it had to be on the cover of the Washington Post. And I'd read every article that was presented on the front from beginning to end and maybe have an idea. And other days pick up the paper and bang, like, it's 7:05 and I have my idea and I can start painting right away. So some days the ideas come easily, and other days, since it was a finite set of rules for that project, I have to read and think and read and sketch and ponder and research, and it might be like 3 in the afternoon and it might be 8 hours of thinking before something finally goes, and then I can start painting. The goal of my paintings is each one has some purpose to it. I think I'm doing something important in that I really do look at other art all the time, try to keep a little knowledge of who's doing what, and I really don't see a lot of people painting topically. Like, I put not just the month and the year, but the actual date on most of my paintings, because it's really important to me. Like, yeah, I painted that the day that happened. I didn't just have nothing to paint one day and go back and do it. Like, it had to be that day.